Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Coffee Catch Ups. Sorry, I didn't see you yesterday. I missed you all, but we had a frantic day here. We're busy working on a whole lot of different things, and we've also made the decision as a team that we're going to be running Coffee Catch Ups Tuesdays, Thursdays. Make sure that we can still get to have a chat to you guys, get to see as much of you can of some content, and keep getting stuff out there so we can keep growing and keep ensuring that we're getting the best out of each other. So I hope everybody is doing well out there. Again, it's interesting times that we're dealing with, both, for those Aussies, those Kiwis out there, no matter where you are. Interesting times, and I hope you're all doing well. Don't be shy to reach out if you feel like someone to talk to. We are always here and want to make sure that the network and the community and everybody around us is getting through these interesting and tough times. Anyway, nice to see you all. Got a few people jumping live, which I can see, which is fantastic. Make sure you hit the like button, say hello. It's always nice to hear from people and know that you're jumping on. Ganeshan, great to see you on here, my friend. Awesome to have you joining us. So what I wanted to do today, guys, I thought I would jump in and have a little bit of a discussion around different strategies in terms of property investment. Now, this is a little something that we've put together recently within the team, and we call it the investment pyramid, the property investment pyramid. So essentially a pyramid which goes through the different strategies that are involved in property. And I think it's really important as investors that we start to identify what strategies are going to be right for us as we're going to achieve our goal. Whenever we work with any clients, it's always about understanding what they're looking to achieve within property investment. At the end of the day, the whole reason why we're investing is to achieve a financial goal. That financial goal, at the end of the day, is about trying to achieve something that's going to give you the freedom. I actually heard something last night on a wee little Netflix show that I jumped in and saw last night. I was watching with my wife, called Maid, and she was writing a story about one of her rich clients, and she mentioned a phrase, and it really stuck with me, and it was the luxury of time. The luxury of time, and that really resonated with me, because at the end of the day, that's what property investment gives you the vehicle, gives you the ability to do. It's a vehicle in order to give you the luxury of time. So, when you take that into account, and then we go, okay, well, what is it that you're trying to achieve within property investment, and where is your starting point? So then we can fill in the gaps. Now, at the same time, it's also understanding as the individual what sort of appetite you've got, because there's different elements and different, I guess you could say, risk factors. I guess you could say commitments or time commitments in terms of the actual projects that you'll be undertaking, the different strategies that you need to bear in mind as you go through. But at the end of the day, it's figuring out a path or a journey to achieve whatever it is that goal is that you're looking to achieve. So let's have a quick look, and I'll jump in and see if I can make some magic happen. There we go, magic. And have a look at the different levels and what we've come up with in terms of the pyramid of the property investment pyramid strategies. So the first one in terms of investing or buying property really is essentially just owning your own home. And you can see it over there at the bottom of the pyramid is the idea of, essentially just purchasing a property that you're going to live in. Now, this is a really interesting point in terms of, does this fit under investment, or is this a liability? Because there's a lot of arguments out there, and I understand the concept of it, that buying your own home is actually a liability, because the money that you've got tied up in paying for the roof over your head could be used investing in smarter investment areas, creating better cash or better return for your money, then in turn being able to pay for your rent. For some people, this is not something that they want to go down. For other people, I know that this really is a strategy that they work towards. I've seen many a client go, okay, well, it's better for me to achieve my goal, or I'm going to achieve my goal quicker if I don't buy a first home. And I've even seen clients go through the concept of selling their home, their own occupied, in order to accelerate their investing, in order to achieve the financial freedom, in turn then being able to come back around and buy the investment property that suits them, that fits their mold, that fits their financial situation, and probably more of their dream house at the end of the day. You hear it from people like Cardone, Grant Cardone. You hear it from Robert Kiyosaki that your own home is a liability. But at the same time, owning your own home, and if you have over the last period in either New Zealand or Australia, I mean, Australia is seeing some impressive growth. I saw some statistics today that the country's had 18.4% growth. That there is quite an impressive number when you look at Australia and New Zealand. Well, we know what we've had here. We've had over 30% growth, and it's been exceptional in that regard. But at the same time, it's now created the ability to have equity in your properties. But equity means nothing unless you're looking to leverage or looking to do something with it. Leverage essentially, so equity essentially in your home is just saving you from paying an interest on that. But if you can look to use that equity that you have available in a property and start to build through the pyramid and start to climb the investment pyramid, then you can start to look at what it is that you're looking to achieve in terms of your financial goals, your plans, and actually start to achieve them. Now, the first layer on that buy and hold in terms of the investment pyramid is the buy and hold. This here is your go-to, your standard, jumping in, buying properties that you have rents outweighing your expenses. You're looking for long-term incremental growth. So usually buying in areas where there's infrastructure going in, where you know that there's going to be more money spent on infrastructure and in turn potential growth. But at the same time, you're buying with the ability to create equity. You're buying with the ability to know that you're buying at a certain value, with the ability to do some sort of work or some sort of changes to the property in order to create equity, which then gives you the ability to do another buy and hold. This here for me really is the fundamental layer of property investment 101. And before we get into any of the bigger developments or any other strategies, this is something that you really want to nail down. Now, trading and flipping is often something that I think has slightly more complexities to a purchase, because now we've got two transactions. There's also the ability to, you need to be on top of things a little bit more in terms of your actual running of your business. So you really need to be smart about how you structure things if you are flipping, trading properties, because you do have extra tax involved, GST involved. So it's something to be aware of. But at the same time, with the recent changes that we've seen within the New Zealand government, we actually now have the ability to do buy and hold and flipping and trading at the same time. Because really what we've seen is, with the increase in the bright line test, it really has taken away the concept of tainting. For those of you who don't know what tainting is basically you would be tainted by the ID, which would essentially say that you were a dealer, developer in land, you did property trading, or you could also be tainted by associations. You could be tainted because your brother's a builder, your brother's a developer. So tainting would mean that if you bought and sold a property within 10 years, you would still pay a income tax on the profits. Whereas for every other individual who wasn't tainted, it would be 5 or 3, depending on where we're at within the bright line period. But now what we see is that with the bright line up at 10, it really has taken away tainting. So I think buying, flipping, and trading at the and buying, holding at the same time really is a viable strategy. My recommendation is try to incorporate your flipping strategy using other people's money or potentially higher LVRs or better lending opportunities, where you can actually ensure that most of your capital is going into your buy and hold portfolio to build that long-term growth. So definitely something to consider in terms of your property portfolio. The next one we've got up is the multiple income strategies. This here is really the crux of where we start to see the highest income in terms of your property portfolio. This is where we have the ability to have multiple income streams from a single dwelling. Now, that single dwelling might have multiple tenancies, might have multiple titles, but that dwelling is essentially bringing you multiple income streams. And in turn, what we see is a lot higher income, a lot higher yield. You will have more expenses associated to it. If you are doing a rent by the room option, you're probably going to have some bills associated to it. You may be paying, for example, the insurance, you'll pay the power, but you'll get that back in terms of the extra income. The ones that I really like is when you can buy a property that has multiple titles, because that does help in terms of often getting a better rent and also a better valuation at the back end. And that's obviously something really, really important to consider. The other ones, multiple income, we could be talking also about boarding houses, which is becoming more and more popular in New Zealand. I think that's something that we'll see more and more of, because of the fact that we're seeing a lot more density in terms of housing, a lot more people willing to do shared accommodation, rent by the room options. We've seen it with students in the past, but I think it's more young professionals are moving into that avenue. So definitely something to consider in terms of your strategies if you are going to closer to the main centers, that you could go and look at those multiple income properties. And then the top one there, we have developments, and obviously developments is the pinnacle. And often everybody wants to be able to call themselves a developer. The development space is certainly something which can be hugely beneficial. But again, there is a higher risk involved. We're talking about high outlays in terms of deposits or purchases or acquiring the land, the build costs, and so on. I think there's a really great way that we can merge a couple of strategies here, and it's merging the buy and hold and the developments. And that's something I think is really important for what I've put across a lot to our students, and also for everyone out there to consider, is that if you have the ability to go buy and hold, create an income from your properties that gives you the ability for development, future development, or even straight away, where you can subdivide, you can build on the back. This here is going to be a massive opportunity or strategy to consider going forward. Not only is there tax benefits with the current changes that we've seen in the recent tax reform, there is the ability here to create huge capital gain, as well as ensuring that we're still getting great cash flow out of the property portfolio. Now, in terms of this pyramid, we'll go into a lot more detail on the pyramid this weekend. For those of you that are joining us at the Monopoly Summit, I'll just quickly drop in. Nimesh, can you show everybody a quick picture of the Monopoly Summit, please? And we'll also drop in a link for those of you that want to register for the Monopoly Summit. I'm hosting it this weekend. We've got a couple of spectacular guests joining me, Therese, Tim, and Belinda. Really looking forward to this one. The presentation is looking really slick, so make sure you jump in there, register. We'll drop it in the link in the chat now for you guys to jump in and register and join us for that one. Now, there's one more thing I would like to share with you guys, and that comes back down to traverse the development side. Developments has certainly been an area that there's been a lot of interest in, especially again coming back to the fact that we have had changes in the tax reform. Must have been coffee time. I just couldn't even get my words out. So what we've been doing is we've looked at how we can ensure that we can get more education out there in terms of the development space. Now, we're not talking about straight away jumping in and teaching you guys how you do a 35 lot subdivision straight off the bat. We're looking at how we can understand the fundamentals of subdividing, so that we can start to, or not necessarily subdividing, but developing, so that we can start to grow our portfolio in that manner. Now, this is something that we're really excited to be bringing you guys. End of October, we have a development masterclass. This is a virtual event, so you Aussies can join us virtually. We will be hosting it from the studio here. We'll have Paul and Jeanette Southey, who between them have built over 700 homes. They will be joining us and presenting most of the content over the weekend. We have a lot of stuff that we're going to be covering off through that period, through the weekend. So what I am doing, guys, I'm going to be covering off exactly the details of the Developers Masterclass tonight, actually, at 8 p.m. So if you would like to join me, it's in a Zoom meeting at 8 p.m. tonight. We'll drop again another link into the chat for you guys to register, which you will then get sent the Zoom link where you can join me live tonight at 8 p.m. And I will be explaining exactly what the Developers Masterclass is all about. And this will be coming to you guys, as I say, end of the month. 30th and 31st of October. It's going to be a wicked event. We've priced this one really well. It's going to be a well worth your time and effort to join us on that one. So make sure you join me tonight at 8 p.m. But I think at the end of the day, it's important, no matter what it is that the strategy that you're going down, that you understand essentially what you're trying to achieve. I keep going on about that, but that's something that we believe is so important. It's something that at Wealth Mentor is a massive part of our education, is there is no one journey that fits an individual. Everybody's journey is different. Everybody's journey takes a different path because they're starting from different place. They have a different personality, a different appetite for risk, and they also have a different goal in mind. So it's a matter of us working with you to ensure that we can find a way to achieve those goals. So make sure you understand your goal, where you're starting from, what strategy is going to be best for you. And if you have any questions, please reach out. We can assist you and give you some guidance in terms of your strategy. Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to be joining you today. I did miss you all yesterday. Thanks for jumping in and giving me the likes and the love hearts. I always do appreciate that. It's always great to be hearing from you all. Have a wicked Tuesday. Again, make sure you reach out to those friends and family because everybody is doing it tough through these periods. And much love to everybody. Have an awesome Tuesday. And most importantly, everybody, make sure that you stay awesome. Have a great one.